Well, I first became acquainted with Study Island about 3 years ago. I was the director of instruction in the South region in the Philadelphia School District. We had 34 schools we were in charge of. We began to use Study Island just as a pilot program in several of the schools who ultimately began to make AYP, or Average Yearly Progress, which is the state of Pennsylvania standard for excellence. We began to explore more and more that all of our schools should be using it, and then we started to see success after success. When I became the principal of Meredith School this year, it was a no-brainer for me. I went to one of our local high schools, and 11th graders at an urban Philadelphia high school are very, very rough in terms of their audience and in terms of their engagement. And I watched them move through Study Island. I was astounded how engaged they were. So I feel like I think the engagement piece is one part of it, but the content is so rigorous, it's so challenging, that it's what I would want my biological kids to have as well as the kids in my school. Teachers really love Study Island. It is so easy to use, it's so friendly to use. The grades, or I should say the levels, get emailed back to teachers so they know where their students stand. In addition, they can select exactly the right standard that students are weak in, or students are struggling in, or students need extra work in. They can assign those lessons and then go back and see how students did. I think that I was very turned off as an educator to test prep. I really felt that we are ruining kids by just teaching the test. When I saw Study Island being used in one of the demonstration schools in Philadelphia, I really looked at hitting the state standards differently than just teaching a quick fix way to do well on the test. So I think that's what won me over, is watching students use it. My experience with Study Island is only positive. I think it should be, it's supplemental, but in some ways it really becomes our secret tool to making sure we're hitting all of the learning styles and the learning levels. I've been using Study Island the last 3 months, both as remedial work for students who are struggling in reading and math and science, and for enrichment work for students who are, I won't say bored, but need more challenge in their academics. I've gotten very, very good feedback from parents. I particularly had parents who were reluctant to have their kids stay for an after-school or extended day program. When I took them to the lab and they watched their students working on Study Island, they began to understand the real issue, that their 7th and 8th graders might get into a better high school if they learned the skills both in test taking and in content. Now those kids use Study Island, many of them at home. The students really love it, and I'm thinking more our after-school program, which is for struggling learners, because it's friendly and it's engaging. In addition, the games really add a lot of rewards so that students feel that there's something, instead of just sitting at a computer, that they have something to look forward to.